to show you a really simple way to present the gospel to children using some pretty simple props. And I'll show you those in just a moment. I've asked 4 of my friends to come and stand in and represent some children so that you'll see how it looks. I usually choose 2 boys for the 2 center characters and 2 girls for the end, and I'll show you why in just a moment. Did you know that the Bible says that all of us are wearing a hat right now? I know. You can't see it, and I can't see it, but God certainly sees it. And I want to tell you about these hats. The first one is what the Bible calls the veil of darkness. This says that from the time we were born, that we have been spiritually blinded. We can't see the things of God. We can't understand the things of God. The sin in our heart has kept us separated from God in darkness. And that separation from God is a terrible place to be. And if we stay there, it leads to death. It leads to separation from God forever. But God didn't want us to stay in this place of darkness. And so he decided out of his great love for us that he would send his own son, Jesus, to come into this world to be the solution for our darkness. And Jesus wore a very different kind of hat. Jesus wore a crown of thorns for us. That means all the things that we did wrong, all the guilt and the shame that we experienced because of our separation from God, because of our selfishness, all of that sin and shame and guilt went on Jesus, who was perfect, who did nothing wrong, but he was punished. He died on a cross as if he were a criminal when he didn't do anything wrong. He was perfect. He was the perfect sacrifice from God. Now, just hearing the story about Jesus doesn't remove our guilt and shame. We have to make a decision. Are we going to believe Jesus? Are we going to trust him to take away our sin and our shame and our guilt? If we do, if we ask him to forgive us, to come into our lives and bring in forgiveness and healing and hope and life instead of this darkness and shame and guilt, if we believe him, something amazing happens. God removes the veil of darkness and he gives us a new hat. He gives us a place of honor in the kingdom of God. He gives us the helmet of salvation. And we are changed in a moment. We move from death to life. We move from darkness to light, from being an enemy of God to being a friend of God, all because of what we believe about Jesus, putting our hope and our trust in him. Our lives are completely changed as we now show our loyalty to God, our obedience and submission to God because of what Jesus did for us. He opened that new life to us. And one day the Bible says Jesus is coming back. And when he comes back, he's going to look at each one of us and he's going to see that we are wearing the veil of darkness or the helmet of salvation. Some of you have heard the story about Jesus and you know all the details, but you haven't made the decision to put your trust in Jesus, to ask him to forgive you and to move you from darkness to light, to make you a child of God, to become a follower of his. And so when he comes back, he may find that you are still in a place of darkness. And the Bible says, for those, they will continue to be in that darkness, to continue to be away from him for the rest of eternity. What a sad place to be. But for others, he's going to see that you're wearing the helmet of salvation, that you heard the story of Jesus and you put your trust in him. You ask him to forgive you. He changed your life completely and you are following him and you are being loyal to the King of all kings. because of Jesus. And for those people, he's going to give us a new hat. The Bible says that he is actually going to give us the crown of life. And we are going to go to be with him and live with him forever. Now, boys and girls, I can't see which hat you're wearing. But I think you know. I think you know. Some of you remember the day when you began to trust Jesus and you began to follow him and be obedient to him and listen to his word and talk to God and love him and want to be with him forever. You remember that day. And you're going to be with Jesus forever. But some of you are still thinking. Some of you are still just listening to the story and you haven't made that decision. I'm praying that today you will make that decision to trust in Jesus and what he did for us so that you will be changed, that you will wear that helmet of salvation and that you will then be with him forever. So this is a pretty simple gospel presentation that you can make. You can ask kids to come up and choose ones that are going to be pretty respectful and some of them you can tell might be a little humorous when they put them on. So you want kids that are going to be really cooperative as you present the gospel. The good thing about this that I like is that everyone in the room, children and workers, have to identify which category they're in. And they certainly see what the solution is. It's God's answer. The other thing it does, it certainly shows the consequence of that choice. That eternity without God or that eternity with him in that place of blessing, in that place of light and glory from God. So think about trying this. Pretty simple props. I hope that you can use it and that you'll be able to help kids know how they can know Jesus. Thanks.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Let us know your thoughts or questions in the comments below and share this video with others who would be encouraged by the message. To translate this video into another language, the video script along with other resources to help you reach, disciple, and empower your children can be found at www.onefor50.net.